And now, the general weather around Alaska.
All right, up first here, warnings out. Starting here, this area is actually just for the Alaska Range, a blizzard warning for the passes of the Alaska Range tonight into at least part of the day on Thursday here. Otherwise, winter weather advisory there over toward Northway, Tok, and those locations. Up to the north, blizzard warning out tonight into tomorrow for the eastern Boulevard Sea coast for whiteout conditions up in that area, same as what's going on here through the Alaska Range. And then a winter storm warning out here for the Bristol Bay area and for the Yukon Delta coastal areas, especially Nunivak Island on up to St. Lawrence Island for the incoming storm bringing heavy snow, gusty winds here from mostly the western Capes, Cape Newenham here on the Bristol Bay area, and then along the coastal areas of the Yukon and Kuskokwim Delta. And for the southeast coast, we've got areas of winter weather advisories out for areas of possibly heavy snow, as much as 6 inches, while other areas won't see that much at all. And moving on to satellite imagery, you can see band here pushing across the southeast coast today with a lot of cold air coming in behind all this snow shower activity that's going to be moving across the southeast coast the next couple of days here before it finally kicks off to the southeast. Cold over the interior, a lot of clouds up through here in the eastern part of the state, right on down toward the Alaska Range. Light snow falling from those clouds throughout much of the day today, and also some gusty winds with that blizzard warning there for the eastern Beaufort Sea coastline. Otherwise dry and a lot of clear skies out here in the west under cold Arctic high pressure, and that cold air coming down across Kodiak Island, gusty north to northwest winds, as well as southern Cook Inlet into the North Gulf Coast here. Out to the west, milder southwest winds pushing in toward the Pribilof Islands with rain down toward Adak and Atka. And you can see a couple of bands, the initial one here pushing across the Pribilof Islands, another one developing here and bringing more wind and rain in toward Adak. And on the chart today, warm front and moisture, gusty winds, not all that strong, maybe 40, 45 miles an hour here ahead of the front over the central Aleutians. Adak picked up about 1¼ inches of precipitation in the last 24 hours. Snow and blowing snow and temperatures edging up into the lower 30s this afternoon for the Pribilof Islands. Otherwise cold high pressure here with light winds and a lot of clearing. Temperatures well below zero the entire day here in the interior areas, even off to the east where areas of snow fell right through here, light snow. And then increasing northeast winds here, again along the passes of the Alaska Range, and especially down into places like Resurrection Bay. Seward had a peak wind gust of 55 miles per hour out of the north today. The temperature's down around 9-10 degrees. And also over at Whittier, west winds up to 45 miles an hour. Same thing for Kodiak State Airport, had 45-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then Akiak had 55 miles per hour with a temperature of 10 degrees there. So very cold air here spilling out into the Gulf of Alaska around this low there up toward Middleton Island. And we had one system pushing through the southeast coast today with snow showers, and a lot more cold and snow showers will be moving through tonight, tomorrow night, and into, well, probably ending tomorrow night. Anyway, low pressure tonight moves to just off the north coast there, so numerous snow showers across the entire area, all the way down to Dixon Entrance, back up toward Yakutat. Clear cold conditions, temperatures well below zero in the interior with windy conditions, again along the Alaska Range, Copper River Basin, North Gulf Coast, and diminishing for Kodiak Island now as its ridge axis makes for light winds as it moves across Bristol Bay. And this system pushing up to the northeast here, bringing some light snow in toward the southwest coast late tonight. And for tomorrow, that whole frontal system pushes some snow inland with the snow and blowing snow from about Cape Newenham up along the coastal areas. That's where the blizzard conditions will probably occur there. The winter storm warnings up to St. Lawrence Island. Snow starting to push in toward the Seward Peninsula late in the day. Cold high pressure holds here over the interior with a lot of clear skies through here. Winds starting to come down a little bit here, but they won't end completely, at least not yet there for the North Gulf Coast, South Central Alaska areas. And Kodiak Island, lighter winds tomorrow, but dry conditions there. And mild south to southwest flow here, pushing again another warm front up toward the, well, at least across the Pribilof Islands. Yet another system bringing even warmer air and more rain into the west central Aleutian areas. and this low tracks to just off the southeast coast there. So still looking at a lot of snow shower activity on Thursday through that area. And then for Friday, that whole system tracks off to the southeast. Cold high pressure builds into the Yukon. Arctic air blasting into the northern part of the southeast coast, with Arctic air actually all the way down toward Dixon Entrance, but the winds are going to be the strongest here up to the north, with storm force wind gust forecast for Lynn Canal out of the north. And stays a little breezy here for the North Gulf Coast, but not as windy. Still cold and mostly clear. Clouds increase, temperatures start to come up here out toward the west with an increasing chance of snow, with this warm front making landfall along the southwest coast. Again, most of this energy looks like it's pushing up to the north out here to the west, so that's going to drag that front and hang it up over the central Aleutians for a couple of very wet, windy days out there. Lows tonight, 45 below zero, say for McGrath and Nikolai. Otherwise, 10 to 15 below in Bristol Bay, around 12 for Kodiak. Most south central Alaska areas below zero, maybe a little above along the coast. Same thing for Prince William Sound, 15 below in the Copper River Basin. Southeast coast, lows in the 20s. Highs tomorrow for the Panhandle, 20 to 25 here to the north, mid-30s to the south. Below zero in the Copper River Basin, edging above zero here for areas of south central Alaska. 20s for Kodiak Island, and 0 to 5 for Bristol Bay, well below zero west of the Alaska Range. Lows on Friday morning, about 30 below there for Gulkana, Copper River Basin, and 5 to 20 below here for south central Alaska. 40 below in the Kuskokwim Valley, 20 for Kodiak, and around 11 for McGrath. And that very cold air starting to come into the northern Panhandle. Lows on those gusty northeast winds anywhere from 5 to 15 in the 20s to the south. And then the highs, lower to mid-30s for the southern Panhandle, 10 to 15 for the highs in the north. Still below zero in the Copper River Basin, and maybe 0 to 5 or 10 for south central Alaska, 18 for Homer. Lower 30s Kodiak Island, coming up right around 20 for Bristol Bay. Even milder there for the Kuskokwim Valley. High still, though, below zero. And up here to the north for tonight, you can see well below zero everywhere, anywhere from 40 to 50 below up here in the northeast interior, central interior as well. Again, down toward the Kuskokwim Valley, Galena, McGrath, those areas. 13 below for St. Lawrence Island. Highs tomorrow below zero, but Nome pushing up to about 5 here. Single numbers for the Yukon Delta coast with the more clouds and southeast winds coming in, but well below zero everywhere else. Lows again here, anywhere from 35 to 55 below zero in the interior. Coldest now shifting eastward there. And still below zero, though, all the way out to the Bering Strait. And then highs for the next day, lower 30s showing up here, up toward Stebbins and St. Michael, with lower 20s now for Nome with that push of southwest winds, but highs staying around 40 below in the Yukon Flats. Out to the west, upper 20s for the lows for the Pribilofs. Seeing that now, probably already in the 30s and will stay there. Mid-30s for the western Aleutians. And then for the highs on Thursday, 40 for Shimia, maybe Adak and Atka, all the way over to Unalaska with mid-30s for the Pribilofs. Upper 20s for the southwest coast. And then for the highs, or for the lows here, mid to upper 30s for the Aleutians, above freezing for the Pribilofs, mid-20s here for Nunivak Island, and then the highs, lower 30s for the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta, especially the coastal areas, 35 to 40 for the Alaska Peninsula, and lower 40s for much of the Aleutians.